Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sotonye Afiesimama and this is Today in History for the 9th of July. Right, let's get cracking. The year is 711 and Berbers under General Tarik-ibn Ziyad occupy northern Spain. He initiated the Muslim conquest of Visigothic Hispania, which is present-day Spain and Portugal, in the year 1711 and lasted up until the year 1718. He led a large army and crossed the Strait of Gibraltar from the North African coast, consolidating his troops at what is today known as the Rock of Gibraltar. The name Gibraltar is a Spanish derivation of the Arabic name Jabal Ṭāriq, meaning Mountain of Tarik, which is named after him. So, that's Spain, that's Portugal, and northern Spain would have been, northern Spain and northern Portugal would have been this region. These regions here, I guess these regions that have been mentioned in this in the illustration here. So that's Tarik-ibn Ziyad. Okay, so let's move on to the year 1401. The Turko-Mongol ruler Tamerlane, also called Timur, destroys Baghdad, killing 20,000 people. This was on this day in 1401, I beg your pardon. In 1815, Charles Maurice de Talleyrand-Périgord takes office as the first Prime Minister of France. That's him pictured right here. 1816, Argentina declares independence from Spain on this day. Exactly 30 years later, in 1846, Captain Montgomery claims Yerba, Buena, now called San Francisco, for the US. So Captain Montgomery claims San Francisco for the United States on this day in 1846. On this day, also, same year 1846, the territory of the District of Columbia, south of the Potomac River, is returned to Virginia through an act of Congress. On this day in 1893, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams performs the first open heart surgery. I'll go into a bit more detail. Dr. Williams founded Providence Hospital and Training School for Nurses in Chicago, Illinois on the 4th of May 1891, the nation's first interracial hospital and nursing school. 2 years later, on July the 9th, today, James Cornish was admitted to the hospital after being stabbed in the chest. Dr. Williams performed the first successful open heart surgery on Cornish. Dr. Williams repaired a severed artery and a gash in the pericardium, the sac that encloses the heart. James Cornish was released from the hospital 51 days after surgery and lived for decades after the incident. So that's Dr. Williams for you, who was born January 18th, 1856 in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. Died August 4th, 1931 in Idlewild, Michigan at the age of 75. So he was mixed race. Yeah, so that's Dr. Daniel Hale Williams for you. Made history on this day in 1893. Let's move on to the year 1947. On this day, Britain's Princess Elizabeth and Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten got engaged. Obviously, if you know, I'm sure you do know, that they later became Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. of Edinburgh. So that's a young couple there in 1947, many decades ago. 1962 on this day, Andy Warhol. That's a self-portrait. His first West Coast gallery exhibition took place in the Ferus Gallery of Los Angeles. Andy Warhol was an American artist, film director, and producer who was a leading figure in the visual art movement known as pop art. His works explore the relationship between artistic expression, advertising, and celebrity culture that flourished by the 1960s and spanned a variety of media, including painting, silk screening, photography, film, and sculpture. Some of his best-known works include the silk screen paintings Campbell's Soup Cans and Marilyn Diptych, which I'm going to show you in a bit, the experimental film Chelsea Girls, and the multimedia events known as the Exploding Plastic Inevitable. So let's see some of his art. Okay, so that's one, and then the one which I promised, Marilyn Monroe's Diptych or Diptych. There we go. So wherever you see works of art like this, very likely they're by this artist or inspired by him, Andy Warhol. Okie dokie, 1968. On this day, Wilt Chamberlain becomes the first reigning NBA most valuable player to be traded the next season when he moves from Philadelphia 76ers to LA Lakers. 1972 on this day, Kwame Nkrumah was reburied in Nkroful, Ghana. Well, that's his mausoleum. So buried on this day. See if we can find a few more pictures of him. That's Kwame Nkrumah, from cradle to grave, written by Bankole Timothy. Bankole, I think, is a Nigerian author. Kwame Nkrumah is Ghanaian. And that's his statue in front of his mausoleum, and a coffin being carried by military men. We move on to the year 1979. Voyager 2 flies past Jupiter on this day. Exactly a year later, in 1980, 7 people were to die in a stampede to see Pope John Paul II in Brazil. And this is a stamp, I guess, that probably commemorates his visit in 2013, as it says 2013 here, but gives you an idea. And that's the Brazilian flag to his right, and the statue of Christ the Redeemer in the background to the left of your picture. Okay, yeah, this is to commemorate the papal visit in 1913, apparently in 2013. Apparently he went to Rio. Not sure what's wrong with me today. Pardon my gaffes. So 1995 on this day, former South African President F.W. de Klerk is implicated of knowing and condoning a dirty tricks campaign that was waged against the ANC. ANC is the African National Congress, to which Mandela was leader of before he became president. So this happened between 1990 and 1994. And obviously his plan was to destabilize the ANC. 2002, so exactly 7 years later, the African Union is established in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The first chairman is Thabo Mbeki, president of South Africa. So he took over from Nelson Mandela when Nelson Mandela decided not to run for a second term. So African Union established on this day in 2002. 2017, so 15 years later, Elon Musk is the first owner of Tesla's first mass market electric car, the Model 3. 2018, on this day, last but not least, Starbucks, US coffee company, announces it will stop using plastic straws by 2020, reducing use of more than 1 billion straws a year. So 1 billion plastic straws, I might add. Kudos to Starbucks for taking such an initiative. I think McDonald's has done the same as well. So yeah, it all goes to show that there are people, there are leaders out there who care about our environment, who care about our planet. And yeah, this would hopefully go a long way eventually, when others follow suit in finding innovative ways to recycle, not using materials that are not biodegradable. Yeah, anyway. So on that note, we end today's Today in History. Hope you join me tomorrow, the 10th of July, for Today in History. Thanks for dropping by, guys, and we'll see tomorrow. Don't forget to like if you like this, and subscribe also if you want to receive notifications of my updates. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.